Okay, let's start over.
Oh, do I? Okay, good. I can try again. Good morning. How is everyone? We're so glad you were able to attend our open enrollment meeting. So think of any questions you have, and we will be able to have them answered because we have Tuan Nguyen here with Relation Insurance, who is our guy for anything benefits. So take it away, Tuan.
All right, thank you. So good to see everyone here. How's everyone doing today? All right. Okay. So as Melinda mentioned, I'm Tuan Nguyen. I recognize all your faces here. I think this is probably my fifth or maybe even sixth open enrollment here in this chapel. So I think last year, unfortunately, we had to do it virtually. So this year we're doing a little bit of a blend. I'm here in person, in the flesh, fully vaccinated and COVID-free, thankfully. So, and then we have some people online. I got my team, Michelle and Walter, online. Their little pictures are here. Thanks, guys, for joining. So if you are, I don't know how many people are online right now, but if you do have any questions, I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody. And then if you do have any questions, feel free to chat in the box there. So as Melinda mentioned, I'm here to present to you the benefits and health insurance renewals. And every year we take a really hard look at this. Last year we made a really difficult decision, right? We moved away from Kaiser, and we went to Anthem, and that ultimately saved. We had to make some decisions, and that saved the organization money, but it also saved out of your paycheck a lot of money. So that transition was difficult, but now we're through that transition. I mean, even with Kaiser, we had the HRA, the funding, and we were just trying to find really creative ways to help reduce costs, not just for the organization, but for employees too and your dependents. We were successful in making this plan a lot more affordable for employees, and so I do have good news. For this year, we aren't making any changes. So the carriers and all the plans are staying the same. The percentage, so we did receive an increase from Anthem, and initially it was about 12%, and we ended up reducing that down quite a bit to roughly around 8%. So, but Rowntree is still going to continue paying their portion, that same percentage. And so the percentage of increase that's going for you, it's 8% on a much smaller number than what Rowntree is taking on. So I mentioned that on the third bullet point, and then the medical and dental costs have increased, but there's no changes to the plans. And so when you do log into Benetrack, you'll be able to see exactly what the costs are for yourself and your dependents. So that way you can make the most educated decision on what your enrollment opportunities are. I'm going to be here majority of the day today. So if you want to just have a conversation outside of this and explain what your options are and what the costs are, I'd be happy to. I can help you enroll and stuff like that as well. So just really quick rules for enrollment and for plan changes. So if you're a new hire, which doesn't look like anyone's new here, but for those who are listening, you are eligible first a month following 60 days of employment. You can also enroll now. So right now is open enrollment. Open enrollment is this, and all these changes are going to be ineffective for October 1st. So once you make a decision during open enrollment, you cannot make any changes during the plan year unless you have a qualifying event. Birth, adoption, marriage or divorce, death of a spouse or dependent. These are qualifying events that would allow you to make changes throughout the year. And if you do have one of these events, please remember to notify HR, and they'll be able to get you squared away in terms of making changes to your benefits. Other than that, once you make the decisions this year renewal, they are good for the entire year. So choose wisely your benefits. And again, I'll be here to help you with that. Okay, so everyone needs to enroll or waive coverage. So even if you don't want to make any changes, you do need to go to Benetrack. You need to reconfirm because there are rating changes. We are asking you to go into Benetrack and log in make your elections and confirm your elections. If you don't want to go into BeneTrack, although we encourage that, you could also go to Brittany and get an actual form. Okay. This site is very user friendly. If you don't remember your username or password, just go ahead and click that button and follow the prompts, just like any online thing that we are utilizing in this day and age. Okay, so I'm going to spend some time on these two different plans. There's two plans. This is, and if you've been Rowntree prior to 2018, we kind of reverted back to those two older plans. So we went away with the HRA, the health reimbursement arrangement. So we reverted back to the deductible plan and this classic plan. These two plans are both very, very comprehensive and very competitive in the market here. The deductible plan, I want to talk first. And I think I hear this all the time. People get, as soon as they hear a deductible, they think it's an inferior plan. They think it's, oh my gosh, there's a deductible, I got to be responsible to pay that before benefits are paid. And although that might be true in some instances, keep in mind that $1,500 deductible doesn't apply to your routine office visits, specialty visits, urgent care. There's no charge for lab and x-rays. So that deductible, you don't even have to pay for that deductible for your routine things. So one of the things when you're evaluating these plans, you want to figure out, all right, when was the last time you were hospitalized? When was the last time you did have any kind of outpatient surgery? Are you planning to have any kind of surgery? If you are, then maybe it might make more sense to go to this plan, the richer classic HMO plan. But if you haven't been hospitalized, you haven't been to the ER, you're not planning on having any surgeries, this is a great plan because, again, that deductible doesn't apply to your routine stuff that most of the services are for. And if you look at the cost differences, once you're logging into BeneTrack, if you look at these two plan differences in the cost, the deductible plan is a much better value. So, and going down the line here, so if you are hospitalized, you do need to pay that $1,500 deductible. After you pay that $1,500 deductible, you're responsible for 25% of the cost of that hospitalization. Both these plans have an out-of-pocket maximum. Are you familiar with what that means, or do you know what that means? So, out-of-pocket maximum is essentially that is the maximum out-of-pocket that you will be responsible for the calendar year. So let's say, for example, once January 1st hits, so let's say on February 1st, someone's in a horrific accident and they have $1 million worth of insurance claims. So the most that they would pay, first of all, they pay $1,500 deductible. After that $1,500 deductible, they're paying 25% of the costs. And the most that they would pay out of their pocket is $3,500. And that's inclusive of that $1,500 bucks. So that $1 million claim, the most that employee would pay for single is $3,500. If you're covering yourself and your family members, the most that you pay for your entire family is $7,000 for the entire year. And going down to the classic HMO side, it's $2,000. So the out-of-pocket is a lot lower on this classic HMO. And this is a very rich plan. This is an absolutely rich plan. So if someone's hospitalized under this Anthem classic HMO, it's a $250 per admission. So you're hospitalized, you're just paying $250. So you have any kind of outpatient surgery, it's $125. You can see the office visit copays. There is no deductible, and the copays are a lot lower. This is a very rich plan, but again, I don't want to discount this deductible plan. My goal is to help you save money, and this is such a better value because the cost difference between this plan and this plan, yes, there is a deductible that is applied to hospitalization and surgeries. Yes, the copays are a little bit higher, but the question is, how often do you utilize the plan? If you're not a big utilizer of the plan, save that money out of your paycheck and just be on this plan. Okay, but if you are above average utilizer, you do plan on having surgeries, evaluate the cost difference between this plan and this plan that comes out of your paycheck, and then do some simple math and make the best decision for you. Any questions there? Okay, so good news is the plans are not changing. I do want to mention here is it is important by being part of Anthem, similar to Kaiser, when we had Kaiser, you had to choose a Kaiser physician, right? With Anthem, it's similar fashion that you need to choose a physician group and a primary care physician who is contracted with the Anthem network. And that Anthem network is this select HMO network. Okay. Anthem is a little bit different in the sense that there's many different networks. Kaiser is just Kaiser, right? Everyone knows Kaiser is one network. Anthem, there's multiple networks, and you are in the select HMO network, which is a very comprehensive network in this area. It has all the major hospitals, most of the major hospitals here. Just make sure you go online. The website's there. You'll be able to, the website, the link is also in Benetrack. You can search for your provider. You can enter your member ID number or search as a guest and be able to find that physician group and provider, primary care physician that that you are comfortable with. So speaking of that, if you're not happy with your primary care physician, you can always change. If you're not happy with your physician group or medical group, you can always change. So just because you choose one doesn't mean you are tied to that group.
Hey, Tuan,
Yeah,
how often can you change your primary care doctor or group?
you can change your physician or group monthly if you really wanted to. So you can make that change as once every 12, every month if you wanted to. And then you just go on there. You can change it online, or you can also, what I would actually suggest is just calling the number, your member services number. And because a lot of times when people first enroll, they don't know, or they might be new to the area, they don't know who to go to. They're automatically assigned a physician. And then, it turns out, hey, I'm not comfortable with this physician. You can always call the member services number and make that change. Okay. You can change it as often as once a month. I just don't really see that happening. Okay. So moving on to dental plans. So there are 2 dental plans, very similar to the medical plans in the sense that there is a DHMO dental plan and then a PPO dental plan. These plans are not changing. They're the same plans, but I just want to help educate the differences between these 2. So first of all, the DHMO plan, that is a really great plan. It's a very affordable plan. The caveat and the reason why it's so low is because the network that the Guardian is your dental insurance carrier. The reason why these plans are so low, or the rates for this plan are much lower, is because the network of providers that you have to choose from is much smaller. Okay, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's an inferior plan, because if you are able to find a provider and a dental group that you are comfortable with, that who are contracted with the Guardian DHMO network, you're just paying a fee schedule for all these services. There is no maximum. So for me, if I was a consumer and I had access to this wonderful plan and a great network, and I found a provider that I'm comfortable with in this network, you can get your out-of-pocket costs are going to be significantly lower. And especially if you have a lot of services that need to be done. Someone needs to get a root canal or even just simple fillings, you're going to be paying a lot less under this plan, including, even cleanings and stuff. So I think that's the rub on this plan, is that you do need to select a specific provider that you need to go to. You're also doing that on the PPO plan, but the PPO plan, the difference is you have access to essentially any provider that you want to go to. Okay, so that's the difference between the PPO and the DHMO. DHMO, you must select a physician group and a physician group who is contracted with the DHMO network. The PPO plan, they contract with a large network, much larger network. If you don't want to see anybody in that larger network, you have the option of going out of network. However, your out-of-pocket costs, even for this rich PPO plan, this plan costs you a lot more out of your paycheck. But what you're paying for is access to a larger network. That doesn't necessarily mean when you go see a dentist, your out-of-pocket costs are going to be lower, because if you have any kind of fillings, or if you have any kind of a root canal or a bridge, you're paying 50% of the cost for that root canal or that bridge, right? If you have any kind of filling, you're paying 20% of the cost for that. These percentages are what the plan pays. So if you go in network to the PPO network, you're gonna be paying a little bit less than if you go out of network. But that's the PPO plan, because that's the benefit of the PPO plan. You can go in network or out of network, and you have a much larger network to choose from. So my tip of the day for the dental plan is, when you're making your decisions, check out that DHMO network and see if you can find a provider that's in the network that you're comfortable with. If you don't find a provider that you're comfortable with, then go on the PPO plan. Okay. All right. Okay, so Vision's through Guardian, but the network that we utilize is the VSP Signature Network. It's the same plan. There's no changes here, but essentially you can get exams and lenses every 12 months and frames every 24 months. If you utilize contacts, you can get those contacts once every 12 months in lieu of your frames allowance. But there's a copay schedule here, and you can get a reimbursement schedule here for frames. VSP has a very, very large network. So just go to vsp.com, search for an optometrist that you're comfortable with, utilize an in-network provider, because you're going to be paying a lot less for exams and the materials that you utilize. Okay, any questions? All right, so so life insurance. So Rowntree provides a life insurance benefit depending on your employee's employment status. So if you're salaried, you get one amount. If you're an hourly employee, you get another amount. Rowntree also offers you the opportunity to buy up to additional amounts of life insurance. So you can purchase at group discounted rates up to 5 times your salary, or $500,000 for yourself, $250,000 for your spouse, and $10,000 for your children. So it doesn't look like there's any new hires here. So if you do decide to enroll in voluntary life and you're not currently enrolled, you're going to need to submit what we call evidence of insurability. Essentially, you just need to answer some questions, and they might ask for you to do a physical. If you are currently enrolled, you can choose. You can purchase additional amounts without answering new health questions. And there's certain criteria that you need to be able to meet. But it's up to the guarantee issue amount, which I believe is $100,000. So, but the key note here is Rowntree provides you a basic amount, a base benefit in something were to happen to you, to your beneficiaries, and then you have the option to purchasing more. Okay, so evaluate, what your needs are should something happen to you, and another thing too is when you are going into Benetrack, always make sure you update your beneficiaries. I just had someone pass away, unfortunately, at another community up in Northern California, where the ex-wife was listed as a beneficiary, not the new wife, and that was pretty sicky, not fun to work with. Okay, so update your beneficiaries, not to be morbid or anything like that. Okay, accident plan. This is a great opportunity for, if you think of the Aflac, Aflac commercials. If you are injured due to an accident, you will receive a lump sum payment from Guardian, depending on the severity of your accident and the things that happen to you. So if you're hospitalized, if you have a fracture, you get there's a specific schedule that you would get. This accident plan is actually a great supplement to the deductible HMO plan. And the reason why I say that is because it helps protect you, because if you are injured due to an accident, you'll get a lump sum payments, again, depending on the severity of the accident, to help pay for the deductible and your out-of-pocket costs. So my take on that is save money by the cost difference between the classic HMO versus the deductible HMO, and then purchase the accident insurance to help offset if something were to happen to you and you were injured due to an accident, and it'll help cover the out-of-pocket costs. So I see that. I see a lot of employees doing that. It's a good strategy. You're saving money on the front end out of your paycheck because you're going with the lesser cost deductible plan. But then if something were to happen to you, you're covering your basis with the accident insurance. Okay, so this is kind of an example. You know, again, if you're injured due to an accident, you have a concussion or you have a fracture, depending on the severity, you know, you can get, if you break your leg, you know, due to an accident, you'll get a $1,500 lump sum payment, and that $1,500 can go towards that deductible that we were just talking about. Okay, so last thing here is there is an employee assistance program. I know things have been crazy. Things are hopefully getting better, but this is a great resource for you if you're dealing with stress issues or, you know, some financial hardship. You need some advice. You need some, you know, if you're just struggling. This program is available to you. It's confidential. No one needs to know that you're calling this number or utilizing the website. You can get up to 3 face-to-face visits with a licensed clinician, and you can call telephonically 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's a really great resource. I highly encourage everyone to utilize it. And again, it's confidential. No one needs to know that you're utilizing it. Okay, so open enrollment starts today. It goes through September 27th. Your benefits elections will be effective October 1st through September 30th of next year. Again, if you do, unless you have a qualifying event, such as divorce, marriage, birth, etc., you cannot make any changes to your until next open enrollment. So choose your benefits wisely. All employees need to go into Benetrack by no later than September 27th to confirm your elections or if you're waiving. When you do go enroll, make sure you do have your dependent social security number. You can technically go on the site and enter in dummy numbers, you know, like 111111, to just complete the enrollment. But it's good practice just to, you know, get your children's socials and yes. Okay. So if you can go by the September 24th, that way it gives the team here some time to process. You don't want to break their backs by waiting until the last minute. So please go by the September 24th. Do Melinda and Brittany and Nancy here a huge solid. They're nice people, you know. Don't make their lives harder. Okay. Okay, so open enrollment checklist. Review all the open enrollment materials. Review and update your beneficiaries in Benetrack. Complete your elections through Benetrack or paper enrollment for those of you who just refuse to do that. And again, the deadline to enroll is September 24th. And with that, I'll open it up to any questions. Anybody online have any questions or any chat questions? Any questions? Yeah. Okay. Yes, that's a wonderful question. Thank you. So the question for those, I don't know if anybody heard online there, employee A and is covering herself and her spouse. Spouse is going on Medicare, and can he waive the coverage on the medical plan? Answer is yes. He can still enroll on the vision and dental. Sorry, I just repeated it just in case. And I said employee A, just keep it anonymous. Any other questions? Any concerns? Anything? Okay. Well, that was easy. Anybody else? All right. I'm going to stop this. I'm going to end this. Michelle and Walter, thank you.
You're welcome.
I will talk to you guys in a little bit.
All right.
All right, there we go.